Hello, everybody. I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to watch my video. For those of you who do not know me, I am Kathy. I am the Hive Vulva and founder and creator of this group, Voice of the Vulva. Many of you have not seen my face before. I will be honest, this is my very first live video, or video, not live. I'm probably going to edit this. Who knows? But this is my first video of me doing any spell work on camera. But I just want to introduce myself first. I've been hesitant on doing this just because I am a little bit camera shy. I've never been one to allow many people to actually see my work being done live. But I have had, over the last 6 months to almost a year, I've received tons and tons of messages from people asking me how I do things, how to cast this spell, how to cast that spell. And what I can say, that's always a difficult question for me to answer, but what I can say is that every vulva, every witch, every one of us that have had an awakening that is called to this path of magic, that is called to this path of our ancestors and of the gods. We all have our own way. Many of our traditions, many of the vulvas, whatever, the vulvas, their traditions and their spell work, there are old texts, and I have many of those old texts, and I do implement them into many of my workings. But a lot of our traditions and a lot of traditional old magic was hearsay, was word of mouth, was taught by hand and passed down in the physical realm. A lot of our ancestors weren't literate, so a lot of our magic really has to come instinctual. So there is really truly no wrong or right way to cast each vulva or each viki. We are all called, and we all have our own form and tradition of magic. So whatever works for me may not work for you. I do want to let you know that first and foremost. But I have felt called to share this with you, with the way I do things. So I do want to make that, clear that what works for me and the way that I cast my magic and the way that I have found success may work for me, but not for you. With that all being said, and I apologize if this is kind of splotchy. I've never made one of these videos, and I am a little nervous, camera shy. So I promise they'll get better as I get used to doing these videos. But I did finally decide, the Norns have finally called and told me that I am able to do so. I am able to release my traditions and my particular path and my particular form of spell work to share with you, to maybe help you grow along your path. I have decided that with my first video, I am going to do a spell that is very close to my heart. Not all of you know, but many of you know that I have been faced with a struggle of someone that is very, very close to me, that is very, very ill. And they're, this weekend, they're doing something that they are very, very determined to do. But I have a lot of concern and a lot of worry. But this person also needs a lot of healing, because I'm really not ready to say goodbye, and I really feel they have a lot more purpose in this life, and that they could be healed. So the spell work tonight is that I am performing is healing, comfort, peace, strength, and strength. I have gone ahead and inscribed my candle that I am using tonight with a staff that I have created, a sigil. If you're not familiar with the word staff, that I have created that for this particular spell. It has been charged for quite some time. I would say that it has been on my altar charging for healing work, for comfort, for relieving of pain, and strength. That is what this stab that I have inscribed on this candle was created for. I will draw you out that stab and put it in the comments of this video. I do. And then there is, I inscribed this person's name, or I will inscribe this person's name in runes, but I also inscribed what my purpose was in runes. And if you are not familiar with the runes, if you are not comfortable with the runes, if you do not know the runes, it is okay to write your petition, I guess is what you would call it, on the candle in English. That's perfectly fine. The gods and the Norns do understand that not everybody is familiar in Old Norse or Icelandic or Danish like I am, or the runes as I am. So it is okay to write them in English. But I have gone ahead and written the staff, my petition, what this is for, in the runes and in Icelandic. So, but what I am going to do, I did save this for the video, is I am going to actually inscribe the name of the person that this healing work and this comfort and this strength and peace work is actually for, onto the candle. And I chose blue. Blue is another, color. I feel that color is important too when you are doing spell work with candles in the way that you are doing it. Blue has a very, very comforting and calming feeling. Of course, go with your intuition, because a lot of our magic and our spell work in each vulva and Viki's path and traditions are different, but this is mine. I chose blue because to me blue is it's a very healing color. It's a very light color. I personally made this candle. This is a candle that you can find on my store website, which is linked to our group. You do not have to use my candle, so please do not feel that you have to go out and rush and buy my candle, because that's not what this is for. You can go simply buy a blue candle from another metaphysical store or even Walmart. Cleanse it, bless it, give it its purpose whenever you do so if you buy it from another store. I have personally charged all of the candles that are sold on Nine Realms Metaphysical on Apothecary, but if you get them from another store, such as another metaphysical store or Walmart, Dollar Tree, wherever you get them from, make sure you cleanse them and bless them and give them a purpose. That is very, very important. But I have already inscribed all of the stabs, all of the other things to it. So I am going to go ahead and carve the name of the person that I am casting this spell for over the candle. Okay, so I have gone ahead and carved the name of the candle. The staff is in there. The petition of what I am asking the Norns and the gods to assist me with, and with my healing work and the purpose of this particular working, and for this particular person, I am going to be invoking Eir. She is the goddess of healing. And this is a and I am also invoking Frigg and Freya and Odin, but I am mostly, I am really, really petitioning for Eir, and the Norns to really assist me in this, because it really means a lot to me. So, that is who I am petitioning tonight. You may see me putting my hands over a photo right now, or something over here to my right. That is a particular photo of the person that I am doing this work for. I have always found in my spell work that it helps me channel and direct my work if I have a vision of them. This particular person I have a very, very, very strong connection to, but I don't need the photo, but I am doing that just because I care about this person so much that I am really, really pushing this work. So I did decide to pull a photo off the wall in my house and put it here for the spell work. So yours doesn't particularly need a frame. It literally is in a frame because I pulled it off a wall in my house. But that's what the spell work is for. And for their privacy, I'm keeping it directed towards me. But that picture is over here on my altar. So I have this candle inscribed. And I am now going to, because I have this candle inscribed and I'm starting to get ready. What I am going to do is I normally do this right now, but because of the time limit, and I also realize that I talk a lot and this video is kind of long. So I have already taken a bay leaf. I am very attached to the herbal plane. I like the herbs and what comes from the earth, and that's just my particular calling. So if I don't have to use paper, I won't. I will use leaves or whatever. I particularly chose bay leaves because they have very, very strong metaphysical and spiritual and astral properties. So I chose to write my petition. Chose to write, I apologize, my petition on a bay leaf, just because of the spiritual, astral, metaphysical properties of this leaf. So my particular petition right here on a leaf. Of course, go with your intuition, what you feel called to do. If you need to use a piece of paper, go ahead and do that. I have my candle that I have already inscribed with the staff that I will put below. I am particularly drawn to blood magic. The Norse the vulvas, we weren't faint of heart. We realized that our magic comes with a price. My particular path, I give of myself. I give something of myself, whatever the gods choose, whatever the Norns choose. I don't do spell work. I don't do castings, especially over people. Unless I really, really feel inclined. It has to be a very, very good case. So when I do my spell work, I typically would do work with blood. Blood is a very, very powerful element. It is a very, very powerful sacrifice. And so what I am going to do with this candle right now, I am going to literally blood this candle. Blood gives things power. It literally puts your intent, part of yourself, gives the gods access to you to do what they will to get your spell work done. Your sacrificing of yourself. That is why I do it for them. They can take. I will take the punishment. I will take the repercussions. I will pay the price. I'm giving myself to them to aid me in my work. So that is exactly what I'm using. Blood is a very, very, very strong, powerful offering. It is a very, very, very powerful element. Some of you may not be comfortable working with blood, and I fully understand. There are substitutes. You can give other forms of yourself. You can give your hair or whatnot. I personally choose to go with blood. That is what I'm comfortable with. That is what I'm called to give. So, I am going to, I have, a very, very special pen that I use. I cleanse it every single time. I've already gone through all of the preparations and everything that I need to get this ritual done before recording this video. So I'm not going to do all of that live, but I normally typically go from the ring finger on my right hand, just because it is a direct bloodline vein to my heart, which means I'm giving it with all of the love and intent of my heart. So I'm truly willing to pay the price. So blood magic does go a long, long way. So you can truly give as much blood as you want. It doesn't take more than literally a drop. As you can see, there really isn't but a couple drops on this candle. I will put a little bit more, but you don't have to. Again, I'm putting a little bit more just because I care about this person very, very much. So I have also got this candle dressed, with my blood. Blue candle inscribed with the stab, the name of the person, again, what the stab is used for, or what the stab, the stab that, of my intent and purpose. I particularly like to also anoint my candles with oil that I have particularly charged for this purpose. This is a lavender and candula oil. And I am actually going to, I've put it into a rollerball bottle because I do wear it as perfume. But I've also found that with my candles and with my spell work, having it in a roller bottle is actually a lot easier than shaking stuff out all over the place. However, if you do not have, you don't have to have this particular anointing oil. I do make this one again. For it is a lavender candula oil. It is for relaxing and peace and comfort. I am also, as I put it on the candle, I'm going to command it to have another purpose as I am inscribing it on the candle. But if you do not have this candle or this oil, I'm sorry, you can use just a regular lavender oil, and that is fine. Again, if you don't even have that, you can use grapeseed oil, you can use olive oil. But anyways, I'm going to anoint this oil. You don't particularly have to do it the way that I do, but again, follow your intuition. Okay. It does smell really, really good. So, I have now anointed it in an oil that I have blessed and consecrated and given a purpose for this actual work. I have written my petition down for what I am doing on a bay leaf because of the metaphysical properties, because of the spiritual properties, because of the astral properties. And honestly, that's because what I am instinctually called and felt like that is my instinctual calling as Evolva on how to cast. You may feel a different calling to spell work. I have anointed this candle. I have petitioned for what this candle. I have given a sacrifice over this candle. This is also a plate. I'm sure some of you see this plate sitting here in front of me. It is a plate of Himalayan salt, pink salt, with different herbs that I have been called to. I will go ahead and tell you what they are. They are rose, they are lavender, calendula, arnica, lavender, I don't know if I said that already, and rose hips, and cinnamon. That is what I instinctually, that is what I felt like I needed to do over this person. Again, go with your intuition. There are many, 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 many metaphysical properties and reasons why I did choose these herbs, but I also went by my spiritual and soul intuition on what herbs to choose. You can choose the herbs that I chose, but if you don't have those herbs, don't be afraid that these won't work for healing spell work. So really go with what your intuition holds. The gods and the Norns do also know that some vulvas and some Vikis, and even some witches, don't always have access to all of the resources and all of the spell work. So don't be afraid to cast something if you don't have all of the ingredients. The gods and Norns do truly know that your intentions, and they do hear that. So don't be afraid if you don't have all of the stuff that I've used. I have gone ahead and done this candle. I have blessed it. I have breathed life into this candle. I have given of my own blood. I have made my sacrifice. I particularly always like to go ahead and also, along with the herbal sacrifice, sometimes I give a food, and I have already, there are some fine chocolates that are sitting on my altar that are particularly given, and some things for Aaron and Air for my healing, and all of the other gods and goddesses for my spell work that I'm doing tonight. Again, you give your offering the way you so choose, but I always, 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 with any of my spell work, I do particularly like to give meat. So at this point, after I have created my offering of the herbs and the salt and the consecration and the blessing of the candle and the sacrificial blood of my candle, or the sacrificial giving of my candle of myself, or whatever it is that I'm willing to sacrifice to this candle and to this spell work and for this person. And I do always pour mead. Mead is very sacred to us, and I feel that the gods always deserve, and the Norns and whoever I am calling deserve something as fine as mead. So I always go ahead and pour them some. Tonight I'm using Viking's blood. If you do not have mead, I know I've lived in a couple different regions. Oh, sorry, I apologize. My shroud keeps falling. I'm not wearing it as low tonight as I normally do. I normally shroud my entire face, but because I'm doing a video, I'm showing you more and it keeps slipping off. I will eventually do a lesson on why I wear a shroud, but when I'm casting. But tonight I'm particularly using Viking's blood. That this is the mead that I have on hand. We always have mead in the house. That's just how we are. But I've given my mead. And now I'm going to go ahead and light my incense. Tonight I have particularly chosen dragon's blood. I have been burning a couple different incenses in the temple throughout the day. But tonight, through the spell work, I've already saged, and I've already put Losange on it. I've already cleared all the spirits. I do advise you to do that before you do any spell work. But I'm going to go ahead and light some incense and call in the goddess and all of the gods to aid me in this work. You can't see exactly, but I do already have candles lit. I do particularly like in rituals to not ever have to spark a lighter. Even though I do keep one on my altar at all times, I particularly don't like to do one in the form of in the middle of ritual, but I'm going to go ahead and light the incense, and I'm going to charge my candle with my intent. Again. This is the way I have started my spell work.